With Season 3 of Overwatch Reign of Talon coming to a close within just a week or so, there's a lot to be excited about going into Season 4. But within all this excitement lurks an evil, ugly beast that will threaten the life of the game itself. 132 6v6 queue. These are two types of role queues that Overwatch has called Flex Queue and Dynamic Queue. They've been testing the waters with these over the past month or so to see how the community responds to them as core modes. The first one, Flex Queue, goes as follows. 1 tank slot, 2 support slots, and 3 DPS slots, with one of these DPS slots being able to flex into tank if preferred or needed. The second iteration of this queue is very similar, but albeit a lot better than the first. It's your average 2-2-2 queue, but if queue times are too long, then the game will automatically put someone queued for tank onto DPS. I have some real issues with both of these iterations. I'll start with the first, since that hopefully is the version that they are least likely to make a core mode. This is perhaps the most lopsided, disjointed role queue I have ever seen in a video game that I have played. This takes the flexibility of the 6v6 queue that we already have and turns it into a gross amorphous blob. Every single game that I have played of this mode always leads to 2 tanks, always. Not once did my team or the enemy team stay on 3 TPS the whole match. As one of my friends puts it, this is just the old 6v6 role queue with more stepping stones and frustration. Because say both teams start with 3 DPS, one team is eventually going to swap to tank because they hate playing into 3 DPS, then someone on the other team is going to swap to a second tank because they feel underpowered without one. It is just so frustrating queuing for DPS and then feeling like you're forced to swap tank, which may be a role you don't want to play. And you could argue that that problem exists in the open queue 6v6 that we have right now too, which it does to an extent, but I think it's a lot better there because it's open queue and there's more versatility. It's not locked to specific roles, like a support could swap to a tank or, but in this mode it is the DPS players who are put into this little corner where they are basically forced to play tank. The second type of role queue they tried out is a more standard 6v6 queue, like I said, but with a path for a tank player to be put onto DPS if queue times call for it. This one is a big step up from the first version, but it's still bad in my opinion. It takes away the likely mid-game role swapping frustration from the other mode, but it still contains a lot of what I don't like and what I assume a lot of other players don't like about 6v6. So let's talk about that. I low-key hate 6v6. I know, I mean, you could probably gather that from what I've said so far, but I just had to say it outright. It's not that I have no fun at all in the mode or anything, because I do play it from time to time. It's just, I think that extra slot, whether it's used by a tank, DPS, or even support, makes the game so much more oppressive and overwhelming. If it's tank, it means so much more health and barriers to get through. If it's a DPS, it means more damage being spammed down a choke. And if it's a support, it means crazy amounts of heals. Obviously, those aren't always exclusive to those roles, but you know what I mean. Even from a sensory point of view, that shit can be so hard to play for most people just because of all the colors and flashing effects everywhere. 5v5 already has enough screen clutter going on as it is, and 6v6 just ramps it up to 11. Of course, some people enjoy or don't mind that, and that is completely fine, which is why I'm happy that we already have a 6v6 mode available in the game. I think it's so good to give players the most amount of options possible, and Overwatch has done a great job by having 5v5 be the core mode whilst also having 6v6 exist alongside it. But I feel like they're going to completely regret making the core mode 6v6 again. As we've seen, 5v5 is by far the more popular mode. I will mention that Blizzard themselves have said 6v6 is climbing in players, but I still believe 5v5 will always be more popular. I think Overwatch has done really well with this whole soft relaunching the game thing, and has definitely earned a lot of their reputation back, so I think they're dancing a little too close to the fire with all this flex queue, dynamic queue stuff. I know Marvel Rivals being so popular must feel like an overwhelming, ominous presence that seems like it might just wipe them off the map completely, but I think Overwatch needs to stop trying so hard to be like its competitors. I think this game having something you can't get anywhere else, that being 5v5, is a great thing. It helps it be a different option for players and have it not just feel like it's the same as Rivals. That's about all I have to say with what's been going on with Overwatch right now. It wasn't a long video or anything, but I just needed to get some of this stuff off my chest. Love to hear what your guys' opinions are in the comments. Remember to be respectful, as we're all humans with different brains and we experience things differently. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.